first SBI race of the season, the 12th annual Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix. This freeze-frame video production sponsored in part by OffshoreOnly.com, also the Firewater and Reverie racing teams. There's Deep the Catamarans on the outside. We're going to go with Invence's Fountain in Factory 2. Invence's Fountain, a 38-foot fountain powered by two 500-horsepower Mercury inboards. Roger Ausley's the driver. David Knight, the throttle man. Invence's Fountain in Factory 2. Now, the F-215 team would like to thank their feature sponsor, Invence's. Invence's is a global company with over 48,000 employees specializing in bringing energy management solutions to customers worldwide. Invence's energy management includes supply and demand-side products and services to give customers a total end-to-end energy solution. This includes the most comprehensive group of companies in the world to create value for customers in the energy management market. Now, this team, Invence's Fountain, they were your 2001 world champions. Your national champions in 2000 and your world champions in 1999. Right now, first in class, number one in Factory 2. Invence's Fountain with Roger Ausley and David Knight. Around the turn. Beautiful Miami Beach skyline. In Factory 2, there's Daytona Performance Marine F2-117. It's a 38-foot fountain powered by two 500-horsepower Mercury inboards. John Reed, the driver. Wyatt Fountain is the throttle man. By the way, this is the rookie race for this racing team. Now, Daytona Performance Marine is a Mercury, Mercruiser, and Yamaha dealer. Also, their boat lines include Fountain, Chaparral, Century, and Sailfish. Provide service and sales and on inboards and outboards, and they're located in Daytona Beach. Special thanks to Wyatt Fountain for all of his help, and of course also to Tammy and Brian for their help as well. And Freeze Frame Video Productions would certainly like to welcome them to the wonderful world of offshore racing. John Reed of Daytona Performance Marine. And we certainly look forward to seeing them next week at the first APBA race in Daytona. Around the turn for Daytona Performance Marine. Other competitors in Factory 2. We've got, of course, Invence's Fountain, which is SAW, Miccosukee Indian Racing, Outlaw, GMC Fountain, Rodriguez Group, and the other Fountain boat. Advanced Marine Technology in Superstock is powered by two 2.5 EFIs. Ross Romash, the driver. Alan Christie, the throttle man. Advanced Marine Technology. Alan Christie, by the way, the owner of this 30-foot AMT. Ross from Adventura, Florida. Alan from Boca Raton. Nice throttling there by Alan Christie. Advanced Marine Technology. Ross Romash and Alan Christie doing a fine job in Superstock. AMT, Advanced Marine Technology. All right, there's Montana Motorsports lube job. It's a 35-foot motion powered by two 500-horsepower Mercury imports. Gino Gargiulo, the driver. Larry Goldman is the throttle man. Lube jobs. Main sponsor, Gino Gargiulo's Oil Can Man. Florida's largest mobile fleet maintenance company, in business since 1990. Other sponsors include Global TV, Anthony Malone, Donna and Cody. More Power to Handle, Earth Inc., and A&S Deli. Thanks to Sal and Nikki. Also special thanks to Goldman's Extreme Marine, Larry, Throttleman, Raymond, and Ulvey, and also Lube Jobs Race Team Coordinator, Renee. Larry does all the work on the boat and does a great job. John Carbonell and staff at SPI for making offshore racing fun instead of business. Thank you, John Carbonell. Montana Motorsports Lube Jobs. Superboat Limited. Beautiful crystal clear day here in Miami. 12th annual Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix. As this race winds down now. On board, Lube Jobs. In second place, Lube Jobs and Superboat Limited. Gino Gargiulo and Larry Goldman, driver and throttle man. Gino from Pompano, Florida. Larry from Hollywood, Florida. There's Reverie, your leader overall. Reverie in Superboat Unlimited with Dale Ropi and Jim Dyke. 43-foot Douglas scooter. Just listen to those Lamborghinis. Reverie, powered by two 920 horsepower Lamborghini power plants. Extreme Racing F-157 in Factory 1 class. 29-foot fountain powered by one 500 horsepower Mercury inboard. Scott O'Connor is the driver. Frank Sarro, the throttle man. Scott from Melbourne, Florida. Frank from Satellite Beach. Extreme Racing. Other competitor in Factory 1, Pantera Racing Team. Extreme Racing in first place. Number 31, Bank Feeders, a Superboat Limited. It's a 35-foot motion powered by two 500 horsepower Mercury inboards. Robert Nunziato is the driver. Doug Kelly is the throttle man. Bank Feeders, sponsor of bankfeeders.com, your home for low mortgage rates. Also special thanks to Troy Hannon, the owner of Supreme Marine, for rigging this boat. Bank Feeders, 35-foot motion. number 1 in Superboat Limited. Bank Peters. Bob Nunziato and Doug Kelly, driver and throttle mech. Bob from Dania Beach, Doug from Boca Raton. Number 1 in class, Bank Peters. Around the turn for this 35-foot motion. This will be the last boat that we'll be covering for you here at this 12th annual Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix. Of course, this has been the first race of the SBI racing season. Very shortly, we will give you the winners in this race. Lots and lots of spectators here along Miami Beach. We're going to take in offshoreonly.com going into the finish line there at the end of this race here in this 2002 SBI race, the very first event for the SBI this season. Offshoreonly.com, your home for all your boating needs on the internet. Offshoreonly.com. Of course, offshoreonly.com, partial sponsor for this freeze-frame video production here in Miami Beach. Of course, the other sponsors include Firewater and the Reverie Racing teams. And that is it, the end of race number 1 here at the SBI 12th annual Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix. Here in beautiful Miami Beach, as you can see, we had great racing, highly competitive racing, some 30 boats entered in all. But we did have one mishap involving the Pier 57 and the Jason Priestley racing team. But fortunately, and the most important thing, of course, is that all the crew members are okay. But the boats did sustain major damage. Very shortly, we will give you the winners in this race here at the SBI Miami Beach Offshore Grand Prix. Just a gorgeous day. The water was rather calm, providing fast racing. And there's the Pier 57 boat that was damaged by the Jason Priestley racing team. To the left side there, pretty much caved in. Brand new boat, Pier 57. The mishap occurred on course, in his first race here on the first lap, but most of all, most important, David Woods and Lily are okay. All right, the winners in Superboat. We've got Pier 57, that's the other Pier 57 boat in first place, followed by Team Jaguar. Pier 57 getting the checkered flag in the Superboat class. In Superboat Unlimited, Reverie in first place, followed by Jaws, and Jason Priestley in third place. That's in Superboat Unlimited. Reverie getting the checkered flag in Superboat Unlimited. In Superboat V, the Muscle. Firewater in second and Fountain bringing up third, the Muscle. Your winner in Superboat V. In Superboat Limited, Bank Peters coming out on top, followed by Luke Jobs and Civ Express. Bank Peters all the way. Superboat Limited winner. In Superstock, it was the Aqua Toy Store coming out on top, followed by Supreme Marine and Bodyguard. The Aqua Toy Store, checkered flag in Superstock. In Factory 2, Invence's Fountain in first place, followed by Daytona Performance. In second, bringing up third, Mikasuki Indian Gaming. Invence's Fountain, your winner in Factory 2. And finally in Factory 1, Extreme Racing, getting the checkered flag. Pantera bringing up second. Extreme Racing, your winner in Factory 1. And those are your winners here at the first race of the SBI in this 2002 racing season. Of course, great, highly competitive racing, as we mentioned before, the mishap between Pier 57 and the Jason Priestley Racing Team, but most important, no one was hurt. So before we go now, there are a few people that we would like to thank. First off, the entire staff of the SBI, also our helicopter pilot, Mr. Russell Kilpatrick, Gary Johnson for his fine camera work, and our new helper on the onboards, Mr. Jimmy Fisher, for doing such a fine job. And of course, our sponsors for this freeze-frame video production here in Miami Beach, and they included OffshoreOnly.com and the Fire, Water, and Reverie Racing teams. Now, we also like to say that all freeze-frame video productions will now be available on DVD. So on behalf of Jeff Girardi and the rest of the freeze-frame video production crew, this is Ms. Lapari wishing you a fond farewell from Miami Beach, Florida. Hoping to see you soon at the next Offshore Powerboat Race. Bye, everyone.